It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report.
Well, the worst drought of yours and my lifetime has pretty much come and gone in the year 2011, and in its wake has left some pretty large-scale devastation around our southwest region. Some large lakes like Lake Meredith up in the Texas Panhandle all but completely dried up. But on today's show, I've got a pretty interesting story for you coming to you from the Texas Hill Country. There's some interesting things happening at Lake Buchanan. Now, Lake Buchanan is about a 30,000 acre lake when it's at normal pool level. It's located just west of Burnet, Texas. However, this lake, like many others, suffered tremendously, and the lake level at current level is down about 24 feet below its normal pool level. In fact, you can see behind me that some of these boat docks and properties that normally have water all the way up underneath these are now a long ways from where the water level actually is. The lake is still accessible. It's a great fishing lake, and on today's show, we're going to scout around the fishing, see what's available out there, and due to the efforts of some concerned folks at the Lake Buchanan Conservation Corporation, many improvements around the lake have been made. We're going to tell you about some folks who haven't just sat around and whined and moaned about the situation. They've gotten off their butts, done something about it. We'll tell you what some of those things are. While we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports, the Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week, the Coast to Catch of the Week, your big fish photos, all of our regular features, including our weekly fishing reports from all around the Southwest region. But first, we're taking you back to the FSN studios where Julie has your weekend planned.
The Salooner tables are predicting fair conditions for the first weekend of fall, and peak game fish activity will begin early in the mornings. The best times will begin on Saturday at 5 a.m. and Sunday at 5:50. Expect the sun to rise at 7:16 and set at 7:23. And nights will feature a waxing moon 60% visible. Stay with us. We still have your freshwater and coastal fishing updates from all around the area. Plus, I'll be back with the Waterburger Ask the Pro.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. Quality soft plastic baits made in Oklahoma with American pride. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And by Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Engineering for angling.
I got one right off the bat. Let's see what I got. That's a little striper, is it? Yeah, I think that's a little striper. Hey, welcome back everybody. You're on Lake Buchanan, down out of Burnet, Texas. And we've come out kind of here mid-morning, and right off the bat, that's either a hybrid striper or a striped bass. I'm not exactly sure which, but it's something to get us going. I'm gonna put that fish back in there and show you that all we did was launch the boat and came right out here in front of the dam. You can see right here behind me, that's the dam, Lake Buchanan. And if you're out here, you wouldn't really know that this lake is that low because there's still a lot of water to fish out here. It's about a 30,000 acre lake, somewhere in that vicinity. It's probably less than that when it's down this much. But I want to show you here one of the things that led me to the fish right off the bat. Came out here, and before we ever even got 2 minutes from where we launched the boat, you could see these schools of fish busting on the top of the water. Now, I think most of these you're looking at are white bass. To set the stage for you a little bit, we're looking at fairly clear water here. I can probably see my spoon about 3 feet down, something like that. So just kind of a nice green, clear tint to it. But that gives you some setting for where we are, what's going on here. Let's start our fishing reports off for this week by checking in with Brian Hughes in your Lone Star Lakes in Texas.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Brian Paul of Custom Guitars. 100% handmade right here in the good old US of A, and you still have time to order for a Christmas delivery. Now this week we're going to visit Lake Fork, site of one of the biggest tournaments anywhere in both entries and prize money. Now Lake Fork has a slot limit of 16 to 24 inches. You must weigh fish that are under 16 or over 24 inches to qualify. Now, to get the unders, use a 1/4 ounce spinnerbait in shad colors or chartreuse white, or a Cordell Spot in either those same shad colors or a shade of red. You'll fish that in about 6 feet of water around any kind of timber or grass if you can find it. For the bigger fish, go with the deeper water, again, near a channel with a bend and some grass. Ought to clue you into some big ones on Lake Fork. Try your drop shot rigs, try your spreader rigs, or a jig and pig for a big Lake Fork bass. Now, let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus, the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, the change from summer to fall continues this weekend when fall officially arrives on Saturday. Combine the calendar change with this week's cool front, and conditions are starting to become more fall-like. Water temperatures are dropping into the upper 70s, and that will trigger speckled trout to make a move toward more shallow water. The northerly winds are blowing water and bait from marshes, so bird activity from West Matagorda northward to Sabine will continue to increase. And even with the cool down, there are still trout on well pads, mid-bay reefs, and deeper grass beds as this transition continues on the upper and middle coast. Now on the lower coast from Port Isabel to the Arroyo Colorado and north of Port Mansfield, specks will be on the move and aggressively feeding. With smooth conditions, expect a topwater bite to heat up. However, the preferred bait to match will remain shrimp. Look for slicks to be more prevalent as another indicator of feeding fish. Check your charts and notes from spring. Compare where the deeper fish have been holding and look to where the spoil islands and shorelines are located. Fish will be on the move between these two areas. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a single tide schedule of one high and one low tide each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
He chased it up. Ooh, that's got some shoulders on it, whatever it is. Hybrid. Hybrid. All right. All right, there you go. Welcome back, everybody. Your SOR is checking out the fishing. First time I've been to Lake Buchanan in about probably 15 years or something like that. And there is some of the efforts of the Lake Buchanan Conservation Corporation stocking those hybrid stripers in here. That's probably a stocker from about last year before last probably. They'll grow a pound to a pound and a half in a year. One of the things that I'm finding out on this lake is that there's a ton of bait fish in here. In fact, let me show you just a quick shot on the Lowrance HDS 10 back there, that there are just clouds, just huge clouds of bait fish all over the place out here. What you've got is you've got the main channel that's about 70 feet deep, but at this low lake level, you got to be real careful and stay in that channel if you're going to put a boat on this lake. Let me show you a couple of things. You can navigate right down the channel. You can watch the nav buoys, the big green and red buoys that are marking the river channel. Stay in those, because if you get out, I want to show you this, there are thousands of stumps, all kinds of timber just off the river channel, like this one you see here. Some of them are just under the surface, so it can be really dangerous. The other thing that's out here, tons of sandbars and little rock ledges that are just under the surface as well. So if you're not familiar with this lake, number one, you really need a good Lowrance system with a good GPS in it and a good card that'll show you all the contour. But it's a great lake, lots of good fish in it. Here's Gary Dollahan in Oklahoma.
Whether you are a family that already enjoys the great outdoors or you're looking to learn more about how to get into hunting and fishing, here's something you've got to get on your calendar. It's the Oklahoma Wildlife Expo. The public weekend is September 29th and 30th, and the location is the Lazy E Arena north of Oklahoma City towards Guthrie. Acres and acres of things going on, indoors and outdoors, and perhaps the best part of all, it's free. In fact, you don't take anything with you except your whole family. Tons of expertise there to teach about the many different things to enjoy in the great outdoors. It's something you don't want to miss. It's hosted by the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife. Hours are basically 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. both of those days. Check it out, the Oklahoma Wildlife Expo. Special congratulations to Tommy Biffle for winning last weekend's Professional Anglers Association tournament on the Arkansas River out of Muskogee. Over the 3-day tournament, he averaged a little over 15 pounds per day, caught all this fish, flipping shallow, the back of cover, in overhanging vines, laydowns, tossing his signature Biffle bug in blackberry blue sapphire. Harold Allen and all the other guys talked about how fun it was to fish that navigation system, saying they caught a lot of fish, a lot of different species. Harold said if you want to go have fun there right now, rig a small worm on a 1/8 ounce sinker and throw it cover, you're going to catch them. All of the anglers said one thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't do it.
This week on your Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week, I'm going to be showing you a bass lake for the upcoming fall months that's not far from where we're located right now. It's Stillhouse Hollow Lake, located southwest of Belton, Texas. So let's locate it for you right now on the Lowrance HDS-10, the beautiful Gen 2 unit with a much faster processor. You're going to love the HDS Gen 2. Stillhouse Hollow is 6,500 acres with a max depth of just over 100 feet. It is an old lake dammed up back in 1968 with a lake record largemouth bass at 12 3/4 pounds caught in 2008. For the fall months upcoming, concentrate on the main creek channel in the upper west end of the lake that we're showing you here. There is some scattered hydrilla located in the shallower areas off the main channel in some of these green areas that I'm highlighting now. There is also some standing timber and some lay-down logs along the shoreline you can throw at as well, and any of these can hold bass in the cooler fall months. One piece of trivia is that Stillhouse Hollow went to its all-time record low level back during the drought last year at 17 feet low, but it has since come back to only 3 feet low, so it's in great shape for your fall bass fishing. That's this week's Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. Stay with us. Coming up next, it's Cajun Phil and Kevin in Louisiana.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Tracker Boats. Fish the finest by Lowrance and the all-new HDS Gen 2 with Structure Map Overview. By Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. By Whataburger, proud to serve it hot and fresh 24 hours a day. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price, every day.
Boy, these fish are loaded up down there. You crank it up, punch the button. There's, he bit it. Crank it up fast. Got him. All right, hey, welcome back everybody. Southwest Outdoors Report on the road at Lake Buchanan. Come up here. All right, there's a good fish right there. Well, I'll tell you, we're catching some of everything. I want to try to keep from getting a hook in my hand. This is that big spoon. You want to keep a umbrella rig, a small spoon for the white bass, a big spoon for the stripers and hybrids. And by the way, I want to, while I'm unhooking this fish, this is a hybrid. I want to show you just a quick shot. I caught a crappie earlier. So, so many different species of fish in this lake, but that crappie hit a spoon, just a little jigging spoon, catching white bass, and caught a pretty nice sized crappie on top of that. But there's that big spoon, and I want to put this fish back. Not keeping him today, and I want to show you something. Before I left, I went online at the website for the Lake Buchanan Conservation Corporation, and I printed off some locations for a bunch of fish attractors that they've put down. Now, a lot of these are in too shallow water right now because the lake's down so low, but they're working on these while the lake's down. When this lake comes back up, it's going to be dynamite, but you can go online to their website and you can print off, first of all, a little outline of the lake, and they've got all of the fish attractor locations, and they're all numbered. Then you can print off the second page that shows you, get this, all of the GPS coordinates. So you can go into your Lowrance HDS system and you can punch those coordinates in, and you can have waypoints for all of these fish attractors, and they range from rock piles to brush piles to big freestanding trees, even some big 55-gallon drums that they've sunk out here. They've done a great job of this, and they've put it out there for the public, just a service to all anglers that want to come down here to Lake Buchanan and you're looking at the website on your screen you can go to if you'd like to print those off if you're coming here. Right now, we've got Cajun Phil and Kevin coming from Louisiana.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Louisiana Saltwater Report. Right now we're up in the marsh catching some redfish on some soft plastics. Tell you what, this side of the state's still doing real good on trout and redfish. Best bite on your trouts early and late, still kind of in the summertime pattern. Basically what we're doing up in here, we're sight casting, just soft plastics to them. Been doing real good on the redfish, and like I said, the trout right now, they're over the oyster reefs. Best bite on those is early and late. Tell you what friends, the number's on the screen. You want to make a trip down here to Southwest Louisiana, experience some of this great fishing at Cajun Paradise Lodge, come on down.
This is old Cajun Phil, and what we want to do is talk about Toledo Bend right now, because I talked to Joe Jocelyn. Joe says right now really the bass are moving up into some shallow water. He's been catching a lot of. He's been throwing a Stanley wedge spinnerbait, and he's been doing really good. He said other people are catching lots of bass. They're catching them on the Carolina rig plastics, but Joe said right now spinnerbait is really hot and heavy on, oh, big old good one, on Toledo Bend. And as you can see, old Captain Kevin's still slaying the redfish and the speckled trout here on Calcute Lake. We talked to some of our friends down on Lafitte and all that. They're still struggling a little bit, but we're going to keep you posted on those. Meanwhile, hey, till next time, this is Cajun Phil for Captain Kevin saying happy fishing and may God bless, and we're going to see you folks next week.
Don't get no better.
Bottom right there. Man, that is so cool. Striper. First striper of the day right there. Not a big one, but we finally did catch a striper. All right, that pretty much completes the Grand Slam. So far today, I've caught white bass, hybrid stripers, crappie, and now stripers, and even a drum for good measure. So we've got pretty much everything that swims in this lake. All right, back that one goes. The striper's laying down on the bottom underneath the white bass on top. Here's a little tip. If you come down here to Lake Buchanan, you see all those fish schooling on top. It's real tempting to be throwing at those. Look at your graph, look at your fish finder, look at your sonar. Down underneath those on the bottom, that's where those stripers and hybrids lay.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Mercury, the official outboard of the Southwest Outdoors Report for 10 years running. By Excite, start positive, stay positive. By Lew's Reels and Rods, feel the difference. And by Onyx Personal Flotation Devices and Rainwear, keeping you safe on the water.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for our Whataburger Ask the Pro. Our question this week comes to us from Ronnie in Tyler, Texas, who wonders, what should you look for when fishing on an unfamiliar lake? For the answer, we went to the Bassmaster Classic and checked with professional angler Dean Rojas.
Basically, the water conditions, if it's going to be clear or muddy. If it's clear water, you can basically see, the shoreline vegetation or whatever underneath the water. Muddy water, it's a little bit difficult. But I usually start off fishing shallow. It's usually, an easier way to find out if the fish are active, if they want to feed or not. A spinnerbait or a crankbait or even my frog can be a great bait to see how the fish are reacting at that particular time.
Thanks, Dean. If you have a question, go to our website at southwestouttdoorsreport.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and let us know what you'd like to ask one of our pros. Now here's Barry with the Costa Catch of the Week.
Time right now for this week's Costa Catch of the Week winner. She is Alexa Ian of Fort O'Connor, Texas, showing off a 41-inch redfish she caught out of Matagorda Bay. And she wins a free pair of Costa sunglasses, and if you'd like to win a pair, all you have to do is register for our contest and send in your photo by going to our website, southwestouttdoorsreport.com. You do lots of stuff from that homepage. You will need to join and become a member of our fan club. It's free, and once you do that, you can fill out the form, send us your photo, and you might win a brand new pair of Costas like Alexa does on this week's show, including the frame style of the month, Switchfoot, like the glasses I've been wearing on today's episode. You can see all the Costa frame styles and the Switchfoot at their website. Again, go to our website, our homepage, the bottom of the page, the sponsor area, click on the Costa logo to get you to their page. Time right now for the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature, the right gear if you're coming to Lake Buchanan. And here are some of the baits and the equipment you'll need, including the brand new Lew's Speed Spool Tournament Pro Bait Cast Reel. Best bait cast reel that I've fished in a long time. It's everything you would need in a top of the line reel at a fantastic price. See it at your retailer or at the Lew's website. The baits you'll need: a small spoon, a small slab, a big spoon or slab 4 or 5 inches long for the hybrids and the stripers, and a Jean LaRue Sweet Swimmer there on the right side of your screen will catch either. By the way, I want to warn you about one thing. If you're coming to Lake Buchanan, as we mentioned, the lake is very low. Most of the boat ramps are out of the water. Some of the ones that are left in the water are simply crude rock boat ramps. Now, we launched on one of those today and did just fine. It's a little tricky, but you'll need to make a few calls, do a little online research before you come here so you'll know what to expect. Hey, be sure to join us for our show next Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Southwest. No baseball conflicts. Next Thursday night, the show will re-air at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. You can always get the latest episode of our show at the front page of our website. Also from there, you can link to our YouTube channel, see all the past episodes of our show. And from there, you can also link to our Facebook page where you get fishing news and information, video and photos that you won't see here on the TV show. It's all at our Facebook page. Hey, it's a great time here at Lake Buchanan. A lot of good folks doing a lot of good things and some great fishing, as you saw. See you next week. Until then, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.